so we use Jasco brush cleaner around here, and some very gently used big thick plastic cups, right? Because it'll chew through a thin plastic cup. We're going to fill that up, and we're going to start with liquid clear, and that way our big thick oil paints will be able to blend on this, you know, dry canvas. So in order to put our liquid clear on, I don't even have much left. And it's real runny, like syrup almost, you know what I mean? So just get a little bit on the end of the brush. We're doing on a 16 by 20 inch canvas today. And you just start putting it on all over the place, right? Just like you do with liquid white, except you don't need as much liquid clear as you do liquid white anyway. And mine always seems to look really patchy, like it you know, sticks to the canvas in some places, looks a lot thicker, and in other places it looks very thin, very dry. But you don't want a whole lot. You do not want a lot. It'll be too much. And we're going to go over it back and forth, just make sure we get every little bit of the canvas. All right, I always do the sides, so we got to finish the sides. Do the top here real quick. Where's everybody from, by the way? Tell me where you're from. My wife will be moderating the comments, so tell me where you're from. We can have a chit chat. Tell me if you're painting with us. You know, what kind of colors you think we should use. And we will get going here in a second. So to keep my house clean anyway, I use a beater bucket. That's what I call it. It's got a golf ball basket down in the bottom, and it just helps me beat the brush and keep all the paint thinner inside the bucket versus doing it Bob's way and spraying it all over the house, right? My wife would be mad. Now remember, anytime we're using paint thinner or liquid mineral spirits, low odor mineral spirits, and liquid clear, you really want to make sure your brush is really dry. Otherwise it'll cause this reaction on the canvas, and then it'll kind of ruin the look that we're going for. So after you take your liquid clear, grab some paper towels, whoop, and just wipe the majority of it off, because we don't need a whole lot. You can see we're already getting some of it off of the canvas here. This one's a brand new canvas compared to my last black canvas, which was kind of pre-used, and it was real textured. So this one's nice and smooth. Bam. Again, we got a fair amount of it to come off, so we're going to start getting ready to throw some color on there. So we got our liquid clear. I always have like a little pile of liquid white on hand, just in case we need to shoot some stars in or brighten up our colors or have other colors lay on top of other colors. So a little bit of liquid white. We're going to be using a filbert brush today, probably our palette knife, and if you have any old, like a little plastic cup or an old soda can or something, we're going to use something like that. Maybe a liner brush, and that's pretty much it. Not a whole lot of brushes today. 1 and 2 inch brush, obviously, for blending. Again, make sure they're clean and very dry.
Natalie is from Washington State.
Washington State. I sell a lot of paintings to Washington State. It's one of my most popular states. Regular paintings, though, not like spacey. I haven't sold a spacey painting to Washington State yet. Alright, we didn't go crazy with the color palette today. So I told you what we had initially with our Bob Ross colors. Then we added pink, rose, what's this, yellow green? It's like a very light lime green. Magenta, sky blue, and purple. So we're just going to kind of literally make it up as we go along. Sort of make it similar to the last painting that is on the cover photo for this live video, because that one sold almost instantly. As soon as I didn't even have a chance to advertise it anywhere, and it sold. So we're going to do a lot more space paintings around here, see if we can't sell some more. Let's see.
Carolyn is also here from Washington State.
There we
and
go.
Patricia is here from Missouri.
Missouri. I have not sold to Missouri. It would be awesome if I could get a painting sold to Missouri. Or a print, or a pillow, some kind of something. Etsy.com/shop/happy landscape art, right? Okay, we're going to go right into our phthalo green and a little bit of titanium white that I snagged up there. And then we're just going to come in and just go nuts, right? Just going to make like a crazy shape. And it doesn't have to look anything like mine, remember? Doesn't have to be the same colors or the same shape. I'm just kind of showing you how to do the technique, how I paint them, right? And that might work for you, and you can do something cool for your friends. So we won't be washing the brush a lot, at least this 1-inch brush that we do all of our blending and stuff with. So if you don't have paint thinner, or if it takes you a little bit longer to wash the brushes, you can always come back and watch the video after it's done playing the live. I'll post it to the page, and then it'll be there forever. So we're going to come up, take our phthalo green, and just kind of make these circles just in slow motion, just making counterclockwise circles. I mean, you could do them clockwise if you wanted to. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what you do, which way you go. It's going to look cool either way.
Kathy Chambers is watching from Jamaica. She's representing her boss. He is the painter.
Oh, that's awesome. Jamaica, man. That's very cool. Very cool. All right, let's look in. We're going to go get... I always like keeping the green colors with the yellow colors. Seems to make them pop. So we came back in, we got a little bit of liquid white, titanium white, and a little bit of our cad yellow. And we're going to come back up and just kind of stay in the fog that we made of this cloud, right? And we can just, almost like you're writing in cursive. Doesn't have to, again, doesn't have to be the same shape or the same anything. And then we can take this and just kind of drag it down. That gives our 1-inch brush a little bit more room to pick everything up. Don't have to wash it, still got the phthalo green on it. Right, and you can come in like this, and then don't over mix. You want to leave different colors. You want to have some of that dark shine through. Again, you have the real bright areas and the dark area, real bright, which will fade to dark, right? So don't over mix it. Don't over mix, right? You just want to be, with the liquid clear, it's kind of sticky, so we're pushing a little bit harder than we normally would if I was making other kind of clouds. But you don't want to, push so hard that it blends it all out, into this real big pattern. What we can do too, why don't we let's take a little bit of our titanium white with the phthalo blue, right? Just a little bit. And all it does is just help brighten up the colors on this black canvas. And we can come in, maybe there's like a far off little bright blue bit of spacey dust over here. And come in again, just blend that out. Little circles. Some areas are going to be, brighter, some are going to be more faded, which is going to make it look cool. Like the concentration of dust and gas is stronger in different areas. So it's gonna make it look neat.
You also have a viewer from British Columbia, Canada. Annette Babcock's here from the coast of Maine. And you also have a viewer in Israel.
Oh, that's awesome. Israel. That's cool. Okay, a little bit of our titanium white and red, just a bright red. And that's all we're really going to do for this cloud up top here. And then we'll go clockwise with this one and drag him up into the blue. Just little differences in color is all we ever look for, right? Take our 2-inch brush, come to the side. Now we'll get crazy, right? Gonna make a mess, just get crazy with this. What I want to do is go into our magenta. It's like a very dark crimson, darker than crimson even. So if you just have the Bob Ross colors, take your crimson and your black, kind of mix them together a little bit. This very dark crimson-y color. Then we're going to take our filbert brush. I'll show you how to make a really cool planet, right? Just with the one brush. Don't even have to float or do a circle or anything. You can take and push in, right? Just flatten all the bristles out, and then just rotate the brush around until it makes a near perfect circle. Right, and come in again. If you kind of go outside your lines, just adjust and drag it around like that. And then we get this real dark, far off planet, which I might even leave just like that, just nice and dark. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool. We go into the titanium white and the pink, and then we got to decide where our light source is coming from, right? If you decide to highlight this thing and you do the highlights on the left side, all your other planets have to have the highlights on the left side, right? That way the light will make sense. So, why don't we do that? We'll come from the left. Why don't we make this one, this guy's like on a little tilt. So we'll just take and do these little shapes, like little J motions, right? Down on the planet. In this case, it's like a C almost, as we're going the other way. And just cover about half the planet. It's going to still be a little bit dark because the pink and the magenta are very close colors. But that looks really neat. And it's on an angle, so it looks like the planet, the poles are like this. So, you know, if you do it straight up and go sideways, it's going to look a little bit different. Now we're going to take a little bit of liquid white onto our fan brush and just kind of put it right here on the end of the palette so we can come in and just flick some stars far off in the galaxy back there. I'm talking about a little amount of liquid white. You do not need a lot to make it look like these far off stars back there. The more you put, obviously, the bigger and thicker your stars are going to be. And then you don't really want to mess with them. Like some of them will come out in these odd shapes or long streaks, and it ends up looking really cool. Ends up looking really cool. All right, let's throw another cloud in here somewhere. A little spacey, dusty cloud full of gas and ice. Little ice particles. I always take a step back and look at it and see where we're going to go from here. See that we might need a little bit bigger of a planet over here, maybe a larger one down here. So what are we going to fill in behind those is the question. Always got to be thinking ahead, especially in space, because you have to put the clouds in behind, right? You can't do a planet and then come back in and sneak something in. So why don't we go into the, I mean, we're trying to use every color today, so why don't we go into the purple? Let's go into that crazy purple color, right? And we're just a little bit of white maybe. Kind of mix them up right here on the brush. And this nice bright purpley color. And then, who knows, we've got this wicked looking cloud that comes down like this. When I'm doing space, I never like to make the clouds like straight, right? Maybe it comes back around down here. Never like to make them, you know, straight across the canvas like I would on a, you know, a normal canvas and have them kind of floating off. In space, everything is really crazy, so make it really crazy, right?
Emily's watching from Duluth, Minnesota.
Duluth. How many of you are Etsy shoppers? That's the question. All right, so we'll come in, try to stay out of your guys' way. Now, if you really want to see, you know, the in-depth video of how this came out, where I really zoom in when I show you the details that we're doing, or what it looks like when I take my hand away and we're real up close, almost as up close as I'm looking at it, right? Almost feels the whole screen. Follow my YouTube page, Happy Little Landscapes, oil painting tutorials on YouTube. It'll say HLL in the little circle. And then you'll be able to see this exact same video, just from a little bit of a different angle, and I'll zoom in and we'll be able to see all these cool details and how everything turns out. If you can't see it. I'm trying to have this camera a little bit closer today, but you can't keep going back and zooming in and zooming out and zooming in every time I want to do that. So follow the YouTube page and we'll get a real cool video for you. It'll have all sorts of stuff in it that the live video doesn't, obviously. Alright, so we're going to come back into our sky blue. Again, a little bit of titanium white into the sky blue, which is like a super bright blue. And then why don't we come up in here? Yeah, that's very bright. Come over here. Maybe we'll throw some of the phthalo blue in as well, just to kind of darken it up a bit. Come back with our blender brush. All right, and just make our little circles. Try not to go too crazy. Don't want the things to grow too big. So we're gonna have like a Mount Space Everest coming up from the bottom of this thing as well. So that look pretty neat. We need some kind of something now to make it really pop though. Some kind of something to make it pop. What are we gonna use? What are we gonna use? Let's go with this crazy green, maybe some of the cad yellow with this green, and the titanium white, just make it really bright. And then we can throw some far off little spacey dust clouds in. Some of my favorite things to paint. Because you can literally make it look however you want to make it look. It doesn't have to look like anything you've ever seen before. It doesn't have to, be on a straight line. It doesn't have to do anything. Look at that. And those really make it pop, so we can stick something down in there and it'll draw our eye into whatever's in the center. I love yellow ochre for space too. And that's a color you don't even need to really brighten up with anything. Right? Let's throw this bit down here. Don't really want them to connect to that cloud. And I want to have some dark spaces in between it. Every time, before we go to blend again, even though we haven't washed the brush, I wipe it off on a paper towel. Try to get some of that other color off of there. Alright, maybe there's a bit of space in between those. And you can just take and just drag that color, the harder you pull, into the center. Right? We want to stay on the inside of that. There we go. Inside of that sucker right there. And we can take our big 2-inch brush, shoot it side to side. Watch out for those stars that you sprayed in, otherwise they'll all look like shooting stars that are going off to the side, okay? Speaking of shooting some stars in, we're going to have some more liquid white just right on the end of the palette, so we can take our brush and flip it on. Okay? Just like that. Kind of fill up these galaxies full of stars. Again, go slowly. You don't want to have too many or have them be too thick. There we go. And if you're using a nice little fan brush like this, mine's very flimsy. That's why I keep this fan brush. It's literally only to spray stars into the sky because it's very flimsy and it will flick it out in this awesome little pattern. How long have we been filming?
24 minutes.
Alright. Since we're going to make it look like the other one, and we are in space, we're going to throw a UFO in there, okay? Not too big, not too crazy, but before we go anywhere else, let's put that UFO in there. So I want to pick a lighter area so he stands out, right? And we're going to use a little bit of the blue, a little bit of the black. My black is so dried out from the last time I didn't even use it. Then we're going to come in. If you don't have a yardstick, I suggest you get one. In the old days, they had these easels with like almost like a library ladder. You know, you go to a big library and they got that ladder that slides along. You can do the same thing, just with a yardstick, right? Put your yardstick on your easel, and you can move it and rest your hand versus trying to float over it and make a certain shape, which I find difficult, okay? You can even touch it right to the side of the canvas or over here, do little things, you know what I mean? So get a yardstick, they're like $3. But grab a yardstick. Makes it easier. Normally I paint my UFOs like kind of flat. This one I'm going to paint on an angle, just because. Right? Just because I want to. And it's my world, I can do whatever I want to do with my little painting, right? So, you take the filbert brush, obviously get real thin at the ends. You want it like a cigar shape that kind of pinches off, right? Goes flat towards the end. And start small, because these suckers will grow on you. You're like, oh, that looks cool, and then you make one mistake, and then you gotta make it bigger, and then you gotta make it bigger, and you gotta make it bigger. So start small. We're gonna put a little dome on this guy, just because the last guy had a little dome, and right against this yellow, it's gonna stick out very nice. We can even put a dome on the bottom. Just like that. Kind of fill in those spots. I know it's hard for you guys to see right now, being the dark, kind of shadowy color. Give me a second, and we're gonna make it pop, okay? I have to go into a smaller brush to make the perspective correct and get those corners nice and sharp on the end. Like up here. There we go. Nobody wants a lumpy UFO, right? Gotta have, you know, a nice, smooth outline to your UFO if you're gonna paint one. The aliens don't make, you know, bumpy sides to their UFOs. It's so crazy, my apron fell off. Again, you can buy the aprons, you can buy the pillows, the paintings. I've got prints, I've got towels for the bathroom, pillows for the couch, all sorts of stuff in my Etsy shop, etsy.com/shop/happylandscapeart. Okay, you know what we didn't get out that I need? Was the silver. I even replied to someone's comment asking what colors we were going to use, and I said silver, and then I didn't get it out. The silver from the Magic Fly set is very cool. It's almost got like little sparkles of glitter in it that just kind of make it look real nice on a UFO. So we're going to grab our silver. And the cool thing about these Magic Fly set colors are they're very wet compared to the real dry Bob Ross paint. So they're perfect for highlights without really having to even, you know, mix them with anything. So why don't we throw, see, kind of float. Come over here, we're going to throw some of this silver in. It really pops. Remember, all of our light's coming from that side, so I want this side to be brighter, maybe this side of the dome to be brighter, and the other side to be dark. And then since we put a bottom dome on this guy, we don't want to fill all the way to the bottom, obviously. Mix it in over here. Just let it get dark. With our smaller brushes, so we can do these last couple details. If I can get this right on the first go, it will be the first time that I've ever painted a UFO correctly on the first go. Bam, bam, bam. Just literally filling it in. Trying to keep the silver on the end of the brush, and that way it doesn't drag across a whole lot. Right, and it's going to try to mix with the blues that are underneath. So, try to get it done in less attempts. You know, not quicker in a time sense, but quicker So you're not trying to do as many attempts. And that way it'll mix less. Alright, that's very neat. We got our little silvery UFO. Getting a little bit darker as we go to this side. You can see half the dome right here is not shaded in, so it's very dark. And then we have this little line, a little bit thicker down here where the bottom bump is, and it looks like our UFO is just kind of flying off into space. We get a little bit of black and just really make the bottom like real dark, pronounced with black. I clean up our silver line. What's cool about these too, you can take them and wipe them and literally wipe the silver away and create, you know, a nice sharp line just by doing that. Take some of that silver, drag it in over here with the black, just so half of it's kind of in the sun, the sun, whichever sun is out here, whichever star, and then the other half sort of in shadow. That'll give it a little bit of depth. I never like to have mine on a straight, you know, at least the shadowing on a straight line. Up here we kind of came in almost like an S shape with those clouds. You don't want to mess with it too much. Alright, I'm going to show you guys a really cool trick. No one has anything to say? There's no comments, no nothing?
Wasim says, keep up the good work.
No one has any suggestions on what color we should do?
And Ned says, that was the first thing I learned from you regarding the yardstick. Thank you for that.
Sweet. Well, tell me when I get some comments so I know the people are actually there. Let's see. You know what we're going to do? Take a little bit of that black just to separate the dome from the ship, right? Just make like a little U. It's a little rounded U-shaped line. That's all we really need to do to keep that dome separated from the actual ship. Alright, now we're going to get crazy. We're going to throw some bigger planets in here, okay? So if you don't have a Red Bull can, use a soda can. This is the 12-ounce one, so it's a little bit bigger than that little small can. You can use a soda can. You can use, the bottom of an old, prescription bottle or anything, just anything circular. And what we can do is put it up against our canvas. We'll pick a nice spot, and then we'll throw a planet in there for you. This one, though, I want to give it a little bit of red inside here. Just because the yellow ochre and the red just play so nicely together. Throw a little bit of red in there. And if you mix up some of the stars, that's where we can put our planet. Or you can just keep blending until it's completely gone. What color should we make our planet, guys? What color? I'm asking everyone here. Let's be interactive, right? What color should we make the planet? This first planet. Give me like a base color, something dark. Some dark kind of color. Like blue or crimson or, you could do purple. We could do a purple planet over here and something different over here. We could do magenta, phthalo green. Some kind of something. If you don't tell me in the next 10 seconds, I'm going to do it on my own. And I have an idea. Maybe we'll put a green one over here. This big old planet. You know what we didn't do? While you guys are telling me what we should do, I'm going to go up here and make a little moon or two for this little guy. Little moon or two. Okay, no one has any suggestions? That's fine.
Annette Babcock says she is always partial to purple.
Yeah, she said purple in the last one. Are you going to tell us to paint space birds again, Annette? Because we'll find out when we get there. Alright, we're going to do...
Annette says, I think a green planet would be cool too.
Okay. Let's do some sap, some straight up sap green, a little bit of titanium white into our sap green.
Emily Marino says teal.
Okay, so like this phthalo green color. That's what we're going to highlight it with. So we're going to go sap green first, right? Gonna pick a spot, put our can there, and then we're not gonna move the can, right? And the can is sort of slippery. The cup is a little bit easier, but the can is sort of slippery, so don't let it move. All right, come over there, and then we're trying to keep the same amount of bristles on the canvas at the same time, so when you take it away, you've got this near perfect circle of a shape, right? And then you can go back in and just fill it in. And this one looks like the can moved just a little bit. Okay, again, we have to remember which side is going to be the bright side and which side is going to be in the shadow, okay? So we've got all of our light coming in from this side, right? From our UFO and our planets. So let's keep this side a little bit darker. So I grab more sap green, a little bit of the phthalo blue. Just threw it in on that side over there. Now we can come in with our phthalo green and the titanium white, which will be this nice teal, this bright blue color, well, bluish greenish color. And then we can come from this side, and let's do it like this. So now we have all this light kind of covering over on this side, this brighter side of our planet. All the way out to the edge, grab it, kind of drag it in a little, you know, this is like an exaggeration of the shape that we're doing, right? Almost like a C, or if you come from this side, almost like a J, but it's very exaggerated. We don't need a whole lot. But you want to have like a little downward motion and then pulling sideways, and that looks like it's rounded, and then we're coming across the side of the planet we can see. And you don't want it in a straight line either, so bring it, you know, make it rough on the edges. Now, if you didn't overmix and you've got little bits of white mixed in with the green, it'll look, you know, random on there, like there's clouds shooting across the planet or something else. But if you didn't, you can always take a little bit of white, right? This will brighten it up also. And just shoot some clouds in, like they're just trying to whip around that planet so fast. Just like that. And like, again, it doesn't have to be, you know, uniform, doesn't have to look like anything you've ever seen before. And then you can just mix them with the green very gently, just pull them to the side. Now we've got these differences in color, right? That's what I'm always preaching. If you're gonna paint space, you better make it colorful. All right, it's looking really neat. It's looking really neat. Let's not forget our little planets this time, right? So why don't we come in a little bit of liquid white right into our bright blue this time, right? And we can come up over here, maybe we'll do a little blue planet. Little blue planet. Who watches Blue Planet? I love that show. Little blue moon off to the side. Blue moon, you left me standing alone. Anyone remember that song from the 50s? I'm only 35, okay. But I remember that song. Classic. Alright, let's put our other little pink moon. Maybe we'll put them off this side.
Emily Marino says, next one, bright yellow or orange.
Bright yellow or orange. That's a good idea. It's a good idea, Emily. Okay, but if we're going to try to make it bright yellow or orange, we have to have a dark base, right? So, for a dark basey color, why don't we do crimson? Need a fair amount of paint for this crimson, for this bigger plant. Okay, now we're going to come in, and you can almost see the dark edges of this cup that I've used a couple times. Okay, I'm going to decide where our darker planet lives. And then we're going to try not to move the cup, right? Don't move the cup. Or if you do have to move the cup, make sure you put it back. Make sure you put it back in the same spot, right? We're not worried about what the inside looks like, only about what the outside looks like. The outside line is what we're trying to make a circle, right? Bam. Now we can take a little bit of the crimson, a little bit of our phthalo blue, right? Remember, we're just trying to make a straight line on the outside. Grab any of that thick paint that got deposited. And then we'll drag it into the middle there. Okay, drag it into the middle. Now we got this pinkish purplish planet over here, real dark purple though, nothing like this nice pink, this light color purple. Now we got a much bigger planet, right? Red Bull can, Dixie cup. You could even go bigger if you've got a big plastic cup like this, you know, or a bigger, like something from a gas station. Big old cup, you can make a giant planet, you know what I mean? So use what you have. So I'm always saying, I'm a painter on a budget. I've got to try to figure out ways to make cool shapes or cool techniques without having to spend a whole lot of money. All right, so now we got this darker, kind of reddish, deep red, a little bit of purple on the inside, and then we'll go highlight it in our oranges and reds and yellows. Okay, so for that, we're gonna go a little bit of magenta, right, which is another dark, it's almost the same as that crimson. A little bit of our bright red. Kind of mix some of that silver in there, it looked kind of neat. A little bit of our bright red onto this side. Right, why don't we do it on do this one on an angle too, like that guy up there. We'll just take our brush, swipe it over. Get rid of these darker colors. Then we can come in with our Indian yellow and our cad yellow. Our yellow ochre, all these different colors all on the brush at the same time. And then we can take and, I mean, you can make it nice and thick and textured on the planet. Gives it a kind of a cool look. Right, but again, we're not gonna go straight down the center. So come over further in some places than you do in other places. Right, yellow ochre, then we switch to our cad yellow. Trying to just stay on the inside of those lines. I mean, that looks really neat right there just by itself. It's really neat. Again, I love the yellow ochre for space. It's such a cool spacey color. Staying on the edge of the line, Josh. Edge of the line, just like that. And then we can just mix all these in. Again, you don't have to mix them all the way out. You could leave it really thick. You could leave it, you know, however you want it. And if you're just like, man, it's just not bright enough for me, take some of your white, throw that in there too. Right, and then the more we mix up this white, the brighter it's going to get. And every time you come over here into your dark color and then come back, you're just going to transfer dark back over there. What we seem to be doing. Okay. I'm going to take my 1/8 brush. I'm going to be very careful. Just give it a couple long strokes because I don't want it to be real textured. Just a couple little long bits. Trying to stay on the inside of my lines, right? Let's take a step back and look at that. It looks really neat. It's really neat. Since all of our light is down here, we'll make it a little bit brighter down here. Again, not being the straight line. Don't want to have a straight line. Just like so. Throw a couple moons off the side of this sucker.
Marina would like to know how you would do a halo around a planet.
Ah, good question. You want to have a planet with some rings, huh? Okay, I'm going to show you how to do that. I'm going to take a thinner brush, little liner brush, right? Depending on how thick you want your rings to be. And I'll choose this guy up here to have rings around him. So in order to do that, I got to choose a color, right? So we'll pick, since that's kind of a darkish color planet, we'll pick a little bit of pink, maybe a little bit of silver. Just kind of mix those two up together. I love this silver, it's such a cool color. Okay, pull our brush out, make it nice and pointy on the end. And then, since ours is on an angle like this, we'll make our rings on an angle, right? So we're going to start above the halfway line. If you imagine your equator coming across the planet like this, we want to start just a little bit above that, make a little hoop, and then come across him, and then connect those little hoops on the same side. See what I mean? Can you guys see that from back there? If you can't, watch the YouTube video. I'll zoom in. I'll show you what it looks like. I'm going to take some liquid white here and try to brighten it up a bit. You want to start above and then come down. Start up, come down, come across. Alright, that way it looks like it's wrapping around. We can't see what's going on back behind the planet back there. And then you could even do another one. Let's see. You can have a double ring around this guy. Like that. See what I mean? Is that good? You guys see what I'm talking about? Now if we were going to do a bigger ring like Saturn, that's something I haven't really practiced yet, but it would be the same sort of idea. You want to take it out, you know, from above the halfway point. Just the halfway point. I'm going to start a little bit above, come out, come across, and then come up again. So the 2 points are the same, and then the 2 outer bits are the same. It's kind of cool with 2 rings up there. I like that. Looks neat. Neat. There we go. Okay, we did our little greenish moon over there. A little bit more yellowy so it stands out. What we haven't used yet is the rose. We use that on the mountains. There we go. Kind of shade that in. Just so you have a difference in color, guys. That's all you want. Differences in color. Why not? Since we're right here, let's put a couple lights on this UFO. Just by getting the liquid white and just touching along the edge there. That's all I really want to do. I don't want the lights around the side or the bottom. Alright. Let's do one more little moon. It might be, no, we'll put them up here. A little bit closer up. Alright, so he's going to be bigger. Again, just by spinning the brush, flattening out all those bristles real flat, and then spinning it. Okay. Nice big moon kind of circling that planet right there. Big old moon. We'll take our silver and pink, just throw in our light side over here. Just like that, guys. Damn. And all we're really looking for is these differences in color, right? Again, yours does not have to look like mine. It can look completely different. Everything could be in a different spot. Everything could be a different color. I'm just trying to show you some cool techniques that I've found that will help you guys paint. What are we at, 45 minutes? Alright, let's get nuts now. We're going to use up this black that we have with our crimson and our blue. And we're going to make up a nice big mountain shape, our Space Everest, right? Mount Space Everest. One more thing, I want to add a little bit of this rose color down in here. Just a little far off, little cloudy shape. Maybe a little bit of the silver in there with it. And maybe some magenta, who knows. See what it looks like when it comes out. Right, again, I've left space in between all those clouds, right? You don't want to have them on top of each other. So leave some space in there. This is just real far off. A little far off little galaxy back there. And if it gets covered, it gets covered. And you can always go back in with your liquid white and spray stars in wherever you want. Okay, let's get our Everest. Right, scoop some up with your palette knife. Want to leave that there, nice on the edge, so we can come over. Just go up into this blue cloud up in here. You guys know how to make mountains. All right, maybe it comes up just a little bit, covers over that planet. We're going to use all of this dark paint mixture that we have. And that's the reason why I put that little pink cloud back there. So it gave something for our mountain to kind of bounce off of. We want it nice and thick on here. Nice and thick. Another little hump over there. Alright, I realize it's hard for you guys to see, being, you know, near black or very, 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 very dark purple this color. We're just going to kind of pull these out towards the bottom. And then once we start throwing some highlights on there, it'll make them all pop. Throw it off to the side, come down here to the bottom. Now we'll use our yellows and our rose and reds and stuff like that to make this Space Everest, okay? Clean off the palette knife. We gotta decide, remember, all of our light has been coming this way the whole time, right? So all of our shadows need to be on this side and all of our brights need to be on this side. So for that, I'm gonna mix up some of this magenta and blue, maybe some of the purple in there. Just make them dark, right? And then we'll come and we'll just start throwing in bits of low lights on the edges of our mountains. And they don't all have to be the same, right? It does not have to look the same or anything. You don't want them in straight lines, so just pull them off to the side. Come over here, maybe this guy's got a little valley that like lives down underneath. It's casting a shadow. Come over here, come over there, come over anywhere, right? Any which way. They want to be nice and thick textured. We're going to come up on top of that. So it's not, this little lip down here gets in my way. Alright, we're going to come in with our yellows, yellow ochre, our cad yellow, our Indian yellow, our reds. All those yellowy colors. You just watch what happens. They explode onto the canvas. And literally just explode out into your eye. You can throw them on top of these darker highlights, you know, in different areas. You don't want to have them in the same line, right? We don't have a straight line right down the center. And in different spots, it'll just make them look awesome. Again, Realize how we're holding the knife. I'm holding on to it with like 1 to 2 fingers, almost light enough to drop it, okay? And then we're holding it at the same angle of our canvas. Mine is on like a 10-degree pitch back. If yours is flat on the table, hold it flat on the table. Ooh, some of that silvery red. Ooh, look at that. I love all these colors, you guys. It is so much fun to paint space, because you can literally do whatever you want to do. And I don't know how many times I've said that, you know, in previous videos, in this video. You can literally make it look however you want to make it look. Right, maybe this guy comes over here. It's just this big peak that's in front of that peak over there. Keep picking up some of that silver with the red, only because they're right next to each other on my palette. But it gives it these cool little specks of like whitish, reddish. Look at that, the red with the yellow ochre, guys. Come on. Come on, guys. Sure, you can even take the rose over this side. Rose and pink. Totally up to you what you want to do. There's a little pink down here. Pink and orange. Pink and Indian yellow. Just make it crazy. Make it nuts. That's what people want. They don't want to have, you know, this non-colorful painting. You gotta have, you're gonna paint space, you gotta make it go crazy. So what better way to do that than to just go absolutely ham with the colors, right? So now we've got this bit of, throw a bit of yellow in there with it. Doesn't matter, right? We're gonna have this shadow kind of come across, stay back there. So for that we can put, you know, it's kind of missing some spaces. We can put the blue in, we can put the purple in. Totally up to you what you want to do. But you want to have it dark in the darkest areas. Don't go so crazy that you cover up all of your dark, spacey color, right? You want to have this dark mountain color in there. It's part of your shadows, right? So don't even cover over all of it with that. Let's see, it looks like we're missing something. Maybe there's another peak over here. Like some rose and that pink color. Alright, we're just going to kind of mix them up down at the bottom because we're going to have this fog rolling through. We can only really see the top of this mountain right here. So take our highlights, just bring them down further than you think you need to anyway. And you can mix up all those pretty colors down in here because when we start to turn it into fog, it's going to look really neat. Red. Right, now we've got this big mountain that just comes all the way down in front of the other ones. All this beautiful color everywhere on our mountain, right? The more you go over it, the more you're going to smash those little those cool little breaks that the knife does on its own, right? So don't go too crazy. Now, once we fog up this bottom of this canvas, it's going to have all these different colors in it. Okay? I'm going to hold mine down because it tends to be a bit nuts. Alright, just going to come with our 2-inch brush and just pop it in there. Alright, come up a little bit higher in some places, down in some places, up and down, every which way. So we're leaving some of these real hard textured areas, and then the other ones are going to be very soft from this kind of blending. Right? And we can even come in, do little mini circles, just kind of blend the bottom of that. Grab some of that silver. And we can silvery clouds. Again, don't want to over blend it. Want to have bits of silver, bits of dark, bits of yellow and pink and red and all the other colors in there. Grab our white even. Right. Not everywhere. Not everywhere. Just gonna lift it, fluff it, push it up. Just like that. Okay, now we've got this wicked space Everest with a bunch of clouds. You know, you got your far off galaxies. What we got? 3 planets. We got 1, 2, 4 moons. 6 moons. 3 planets, 6 moons, a UFO. We could have even done something crazy up in here, but I like the way this one looks. We'll take a little bit more of our liquid white stars and just flick them onto the canvas. Different patterns, different areas. And just fill up those dark spots, right? Don't want to have too many. Don't want to have it show dark through there, but just like that, guys. It's looking really good. I like the way this one came out. I'm going to throw the signature down here. Bam. And we can't forget our space birds, right, Annette? I'm sure Annette's going, he hasn't painted the space birds yet. Where are the space birds? Yeah, we're going to put them over here this time. Real small, though, far off in the distance. Far off space birds. Bam. They almost look like stars right there. Alright, well guys, I'm like so close to my goal for YouTube, hitting 1,000 so I can go live on YouTube. So go to my YouTube channel if you don't subscribe already and click the subscribe button. Hit my little notifications bell. It'll tell you when I'm, going live or when I've uploaded a new video, so you can go check it out. Of course, follow my Facebook page, at Happy Landscape Art is what you would search for. It would bring you to Happy Little Landscapes. You can go to my Instagram page, at Happy Little Landscapes, and hit my Etsy store, etsy.com/shop/Happy Landscape Art. That will get you the hats, right? The hats, the aprons. You can buy the paintings, you can buy prints, you can buy pillows with a painting on the pillow, right? Search for this logo when you're looking on YouTube, Happy Little Landscapes, HLL, right? Besides that, this one came out really good. There's not much I would change about this. It looks fantastic, and I hope you guys enjoyed painting it. I hope you painted along with me. I know I go a little bit quick for some people, so just come back, watch the video. You can watch it over and over and over again, and when you go to YouTube, I'll really zoom in on these mountains when I do the planets, when I do the UFO. And it'll be real close so you can see. Okay, so besides that, I want to thank you guys for liking my page. I want to thank you for coming to the channel, coming to the live today. Thank everybody that subscribes on my YouTube channel. I'm trying, to make a living out of this. So the more people I get, the more videos I can bring to you guys, right? I can only reach so many people, so I need you guys to share this, put it in another room, attempt your painting, copy the link, share the tutorial, and that way you can get other people and bring them to the channel, and we can just sit here and paint. Excuse me, we can sit here and paint every day. It would be fantastic. It's my dream. So this one will be available in my Etsy shop here shortly, and I hope you guys have a great day. And babe, you gonna get ready to hit the button? Hope you guys have a great day, and thank you to my lovely wife for moderating the comments and telling me, everything you guys are saying, because I can't look back and forth all the time. So, again, etsy.com/shop/Happy Landscape Art. Somebody buy the apron. I want to see how dirty you can get this with your paint, right? And I want to thank you guys one more time. And we're going to say goodbye, because I always seem to ramble on, at the end, and I just can't think of anything else to say, and my mouth just doesn't work. So, thanks, guys. We'll see you on the next live video. We'll see the YouTube guys on the next painting. Go to my YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button, and share. See ya.